Hey, Naomi.
Hey, Owen.
How do you know if someone's vegan?
Oh, don't worry. They'll tell you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Owen, and I don't eat meat, eggs, or dairy.
And I'm Naomi, and I don't eat meat, and I tend to avoid dairy, but I do eat fish. Now, today we're here to give you some food for thought about food for change.
In particular, we'll be looking at how a shift in one's diet, even on a micro level, can have important impacts on the self as well as on the world we inhabit. Now, we know the stereotypes of vegans: militant, condescending, intolerant to those whose diets differ from their own. So before we get started, we want to stress that this talk is going to be as far from didactic as possible.
Now, we're not trying to convert you to our lame vegan club. One's diet is deeply personal, and everyone has a right to a dietary lifestyle that works best for them.
In our talk today, we just hope to discuss the impacts of our diets and emphasize the importance of informed, knowledgeable eating, no matter what it is you choose to chow down on. Now, what made me go vegan weren't those posters on the subway. You know, the ones with the cute pig and the cute dog, and in big bold letters the question, why love one but eat the other?
No, Owen and I were actually both inspired to shift our diets based on environmental concerns.
Yeah, I went vegan after reading a 2010 United Nations report entitled Assessing the Environmental Impacts of Production and Consumption, Priority Products and Materials. Somewhat less catchy than the poster, I know. Now, this report essentially said what scientists studying climate and the environment had been saying for years, namely that animal agriculture, so the process of raising animals for human consumption, was one of the leading factors behind environmental degradation and climate change. Take greenhouse gases, for instance. Animal agriculture is responsible for over half of all global greenhouse gas emissions each year. That's more than all forms of transportation, so planes, cars, ships, trucks, you name it, combined, with those figures expected to grow over 80% by 2050. This is compounded by the fact that the gas most frequently emitted by animal agriculture is nitrous oxide, a gas with global warming potential 296 times greater than carbon dioxide. The animal agriculture industry also uses about 1/3 of global freshwater supplies each year. In fact, to make about one hamburger requires 660 gallons of water to produce. That's about the equivalent of taking a 3-hour-long shower, which, although I might love to do, might be considered a bit excessive.
Vegetables like broccoli and potatoes, for example, only require about 34 gallons of water and are still quite tasty.
Often we can feel a disconnect between the foods we eat and the world around us, particularly in the modern age of processed foods, and when globalization brings foods from all corners of the globe to our supermarket aisles, it can be hard to remember that what we eat is a direct offering of the world around us, and that what we choose to eat affects that world in turn. Diets are certainly a personal choice, but they are also global in their impacts. Understanding the impacts of one's diet above and beyond the self can help foster a process of more informed eating that remains conscious of the broader global community. To be sure, the impacts on the self are important as well. One of the things that Naomi has noticed about going vegan is that you often start cooking a lot more for yourself.
Eating out as a vegan can present a variety of challenges, including finding something to eat and finding something affordable to eat.
Cooking for yourself allows for you to have a much better understanding and command over the food that you do eat. Personally, I found this to be particularly true when cooking as a vegan. Say you're in a supermarket aisle and you want to know if a certain product is vegan, you actually have to take it off the shelf and look at the nutritional information and list of ingredients, in a way we often forget to do. Moreover, however, cooking for yourself simply provides a more direct and tactile way to engage with the food that you put in your body. Being able to watch as discrete individual ingredients come together to create a meal allows for a greater degree of agency, control, and knowledge over the food you digest, in a way that is often limited by prepared or processed foods.
Now, plant-based diets are not for everyone, but if you're interested in giving it a shot,
or just want to pursue another diet whose personal or global impacts you support,
here are a few tips and tricks about how to make that change a bit more manageable.
To get started, it can often be a good idea to pick a certain number of days each week to pursue a vegan diet or whatever diet it is you might want to support. Meat-Free Monday is a popular campaign that is essentially described by its title. Whatever works best for you, picking a few days a week to pursue your diet of choice can be a good way for those with busy lives to still make a change, or even just for those who want to make a less onerous change, perhaps what's now referred to as the flexitarian diet. To get this started, it can be a fun and engaging process to spend a part of your Sunday making your weekday lunches throughout the week that can then be easily picked up and brought on the go.
At the end of the day, however, a more sustainable diet does not exist in the absolute.
What's most important is that we are all informed and knowledgeable about the food we eat and its impacts both personally as well as globally. With this mindset, we can begin to use food for change. Thanks.